Ladies and gentlemen, and the dream team and the dream team and the dream team and the dream team and is in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want all of you to know that a young lady has taken the time, because I said nobody sat up there and bothered, thank you, Susan, nobody sat up there and bothered to call them up and find that document. I just asked people to just get the Senate remarks. Okay, she found the act, not this. This ain't it. This ain't the act. The act will be coming up in a moment. I gotta, you know what I gotta do? I gotta find the act. Oh God, he's gotta find the act. That's right, I gotta find it because it likes to act a fool. See, that's the act right there. So let's pull this back up. And let's do that right there. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Drew Hill. And they are talking about never making a promise. Okay. To amend section 2634, Title 10 of the United States Codes. What's Title 10 of the U.S. Codes? Anybody know? Relating to shipments at government expense for motor vehicles owned by members of the armed forces. Well, that's not this act. Okay, remember 93-549. So this is two sections. Need y'all to pay attention. Now let's make sure, because we want to make sure we only read what we need to read, because y'all know what happens when we read stuff we ain't supposed to be reading. It takes us on a tirade. Okay, 93-549. But see, take a look. July 24th, 1973. Okay, this is the document we're looking for. But she pulled up, now, this is not an act. This is a Senate report. This right here is an act. Okay, so this is public law. We don't want the public law. We want the actual Senate report. Okay. So that makes one thing, and for some people, and I didn't know it at first until just now, because this is my first time looking at it, and so what was pulled up was not the Senate report, but the act that has the same numbers as the report. So I was going to look at it because I thought this was the actual report, but no. What we have an individual for you all to get in contact with. I need to put y'all on pause so I can get you an email address. So 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, the information I'm about to show you, sorry, I was doing the article for SATCOM, so we're going to skip past that article. Come on now. Oh, stop listening. Stop listening. Stupid dragon natural speaking. All right, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. It's still doing it, so let me shut it off. I don't want to save it. Sorry, my mouse moves a lot faster than I wanted to. I'll go back and take care of all of that later. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the National Archives. One of the representatives of the National Archives, see? National Archives Records Agency, whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what I want you to understand. Pay attention. This is a government employee. She didn't do anything to you all. She didn't scream at you. She didn't yell at you. She didn't curse you out. She has been very respectful to the people we've been dealing with. So do not communicate with her with attitude. Because if I find out any one of you, just, God, sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, what bothers me so much is some of you guys, this is a new edition talking about Still in Love. Some of you take it personally, and you involve your personal feelings and your personal attitudes and your personal ghetto-ness into things, which is why SATCOM will not be hiring anyone else from YouTube. Please understand, some of you have been asking about becoming part of SATCOM. We cannot handle that. The people at YouTube, sorry, some of you guys, you're too emotional. And then you bring in so much baggage of what you've been through and all the hurt and pain. We cannot function that way, and you guys cannot function that way because you cannot communicate with these government agencies that way, ladies and gentlemen. You're causing damage to the rest of us. You see, do you not see these little bulletins they're putting up, telling them, look out for this, look out for that? Okay, we can't have that. For instance, when I put out the video asking for people's help to communicate the questions to the federal courts, I said those who are legally wise, those who know what they're doing in the courts, not just any of you, because you can't do that. For instance, ladies and gentlemen, do you see? I just closed the article. Did you see how that was speaking about the act and the public law and not this right here? And baby, I know that this feeling I'm feeling just won't let me go. Because what? You're true love I ever know. Sorry, I love this song. They did a very good job, as even though they had so much disruption because they didn't like Bobby. I like the group. And I like the songs that they came up with at that period because they were all right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're looking for Senate report number 93-549. And I do believe this is the 93rd Congress. And I believe this might be page 549 of the record of the report. But this is a report. This is not a congressional act. We want a copy of the report. This is a public document. This is the date of the report. Please don't pay. They were going to charge the person for that act, the certified copy. They were going to charge them for that act. Oh, God, no. Why would you pay for that? And ladies and gentlemen, before you pay for it, please send an email letting us know that that's what your intentions are, that you were intending to pay for it, and do that. Let us know first so we can tell you whether or not somebody has already acquired it. Okay? Sorry, I got somebody texting me. Oh, God. And I'm going to yell at him for sitting up here writing me a book. See, he tells me the reason why he missed my call. I don't even know why you missed the call. That's not my business. You didn't have to be there when I called. Anyway, I will take care of that person and their question in a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, oh no, that's a person who I communicated with, so he's asking me a question based on my communication with him, not based on a video I did. So when I tell you that I'm not going to answer your questions, you need to understand that I mean that seriously. Okay? So you need to get that. I don't have the time. So let's get back to this. Hey, guys, this is Club Nouveau, and they're singing Jam on It. And when this song first came out, with Cosmo, okay, and Kumo D. No, not that Kumo D. Cosmo D. But anyway, not Kumo D. Cosmo D from outer space, and I'm here to rock the... Anyway, I like this song. And if y'all thought that using that, what do they call that junk where they use that stupid voice? If y'all think will.i.am and all of them did that now, y'all don't know. Y'all don't know the history. It was being done by people like these guys. Come on, tell them. I'm waiting for him to say wiggy, wiggy, wiggy again. 3 words to the left. Take a step back. Don't boogie down and give me no slack. Anyway, like I told you, music. And the reason why I like this song, because when they made it, this song is not about anything, ladies and gentlemen. But the one thing I can tell you they did when they made this song, they had fun with this song. And that was the whole point of the song. It wasn't about one gang or another gang or one group, or it was them having fun and taking a bunch of words and putting it together with a beat and making a song with it. We don't have that anymore. We just have people making junk right now. They're not having fun with it. They're just putting together words and trying to shock the conscience. Sorry about that. I get off into these tirades because we're lost as a society. We keep thinking that junk out there is society. We keep thinking that that's the world, that's real life. None of that junk is real. Look, ladies and gentlemen, so that you get what's going on, this Senate report by Congress, the reason why we need this is because this is their actual words. Okay, sorry. I just like the way he did it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we have the actual words of Congress where they said they delegated their powers. Now, this Congress didn't delegate its powers to the president. They are complaining about the Congress in 1933, which did it. And because they did it as a Congress, and as a Congress, they weren't going to come back and undo it. The Congress is complaining that they delegated their powers to the president, that we were an administrative agency. That is why he got up there. Who got up there? The quote that so many people and so many movements have quoted for so long. We're a trafficant. We're trafficants, voice said. They got his statements in here. I know it because I done seen it in here. Where Trafficant gets up there, there he is right there, Mr. Trafficant, asked and was given permission to revise and expand his remark. Trafficant, Mr. Speaker, we are here now in Chapter 11. Members of Congress are official trustees presiding over the greatest reorganization of any bankrupt entity in world history, the United States government. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys can get a copy of this report, I would love that, because we need to put this report on. By the way, let me show you how it all goes together. I never put the pieces together, but I understand it. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Let me explain something. So, Cosmo, oh, see? Okay, so that didn't start in the 90s with Will I Am. That was going on for quite some time. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put them on pause for a minute because it is necessary, because I need to explain something to you all so that you get it. Because I don't think you guys understand what's going on here. When I tell you guys there's a lot of stuff I simply didn't study, but I simply understand, I just understand it. I have the ability of putting pieces together. Lou, I told you I'll get with you in a moment. Anyway, I have the ability of putting pieces of the puzzle together. The reason why I'm mentioning Trafficant, I wasn't planning on mentioning that. I had not put these pieces together prior to this moment of doing this video, which is why it was important enough for me to turn off the music in the background so I can show you this. We take this conversation that he has before Congress and nobody corrects him on, and he's a congressional member. You notice what they did with him after he said this publicly, right? Because these were public records. The congressional records are public records. So he said this publicly. I need all of you to understand, I just need this record. If you can get it, it doesn't have to be certified. So what I'm asking you to ask, send an email to this young lady. Don't bombard her. Just tell her you want a copy of that particular record. You want to know where you can find it on a public record. Okay? That's the first one. The second one, now pay attention. You see that's March 17th, 1973? Come on, mouse. Move, mouse. 1993. See, I said 1993. Now, he says this in 1993. Pay attention. Let's travel so y'all can see What's going on? I put puzzles together. He did that 20 years later to let you know that that stupid March 9th, 1933 Act was still ongoing. So we take March 9th, 1933, and I told you, does anybody know what a banking emergency is? Anybody? Because it's called the National Banking Emergency Act. Economic Banking Emergency Relief Act. The Economic Banking Emergency Relief Act. So let's do that. Let's ask ourselves, can't do that anymore. What is a banking emergency? See, the Emergency Banking Act of 1933. But this is a .org, so that is not a government site, and I don't care about that. I wanted to know what is a banking emergency, okay? And you see how Investopedia, what was the Emergency Banking Act of 1933? The Emergency Banking Act of 1933 was a bill passed during the administration of Franklin Delano Roosevelt to react in reaction to the financial adverse conditions of the Great Depression. No, the Great Depression started in 1928. This was 1933. Impossible. But what is a banking emergency? You see, I didn't put in Banking Relief Act. I put in banking emergency, and I just want to know legal definition. So let's do legal definition, shall we? And let's put it in parens so we don't get all that other stuff. TikTok. LEGALDEFINATION. Oh, uh-oh. I don't know why I'm saying definition when it's definition. Lord have mercy. See what happens with eyes tied? Okay. And other documents pertaining to the banking emergency are here reproduced. I don't know what this is. Well, they say they got other documents pertaining to the banking emergency. I think I want to see them documents. But again, we don't need a copy of the Emergency Banking Act. And it's not the Emergency Banking Act. It's the Economic Emergency Banking Relief Act of 1933. It's the official title. Okay? So they say they got other documents. How many documents y'all got? How many pages is this? 32. Lord have mercy. So let's see what they got here. They got joint resolution February 25th. Now, see, we don't know about that joint resolution. We ain't even talked about that joint resolution March 3rd. Look at that. Message to Congress March 9th. I think we may have found what we're looking for, y'all, without me having to go to Congress. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no clue as to where this document came from. You saw I'd not seen this document before, but they got messages and notes from Congress. Okay. I think we needs to do some studying. What page are you on? Go back and rewind the video. Person. Sorry. That's what people do to, you know? United States Government Printing Office, Washington, 1933. Okay? So this is the official record. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this carries with it Congress's record, the report, but I do know that this is some of what I'm looking for. To be able to, on March 24th, 1933, the President approved the following amendment to the Emergency Banking Act, really providing for direct loans by the Federal Reserve banks to state banks and trust companies in certain cases. This is where we get all the details of the act, ladies and gentlemen. So the person, I'm going to give that website Yeah, let's look at that. Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. Digitize for Fraser. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give the guy who put up the website. Oh, this is not a guy. This is the Federal Reserve of .org. Fraser, St. Louis Fed.org. Files. Well, anyway, I don't know if that's Federal Reserve or not. On March 9, 1933, after the passage of the Emergency Banking Act, the president issued the following proclamations claiming or continuing the banking holiday. Really interesting. Whereas on March 6, I, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, ladies and gentlemen, this is where the juicy is. Why? Because this is from the actual government printing office. Okay? And as you see, it's page after page. These are the words you need to be going into court with. Because guess what they can't do? Guess what they can't say? They can't say it isn't so. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. I dare you. Okay? It ain't so. Yes, they're going to try. That's why we use the words. This man actually said it on public radio. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. I haven't read the document. What I'm going to ask you all to do, I'm going to show you where this is. If it wasn't for Susan, thank you, Susan. If it wasn't for Susan taking the time to let me know that she tried to find the information for us, then I wouldn't be doing this video right now, and we would not be looking for this document right now because I never would have put in banking emergency legal definition. What's a banking emergency? Bankruptcy, people. That's what a banking emergency is. If you had a banking emergency, you would need protection. So you would be filing bankruptcy. That's the definition of a banking emergency. The banking holiday was not the emergency. The government controlled the banks at the time, and so the government was declaring a national emergency. That's why they called it an economic emergency relief. They needed relief. Yes, they took some X-Lax. X-Lax works good for relief. Okay. Alabama's banking emergency authorized it, the superintendent of banks, to declare an emergency banking holiday. Okay. Why? Bankruptcy. But you notice I put in banking emergency and I asked for the definition, and we didn't get one single definition. Okay? We get all these other websites that talk about all this other junk, but we don't get a single legal definition of a banking emergency. Nobody asked about a banking holiday definition. I said banking emergency because the act is called, pay attention, Banking Emergency Relief Act. So let's get rid of banking, and we're just going to do legal definition of emergency. An emergency event law, or legal definition. An emergency event is a sudden, urgent, usually unexpected incident or occurrence that requires immediate reaction or assistance for emergency situations faced by the recipients of public assistance. This is done after the Emergency Banking Relief Act, because prior to that, that definition did not exist. Okay? Emergency refers to a situation in which property or human life is in jeopardy and the prompt summoning of aid is essential, i.e. FEMA. Definition of emergency and the legal definition by Free Online English Dictionary and Encyclopedia. What is an emergency? The meaning of emergency in legal terms. What does an emergency mean in law? So let's find out what the emergency was. Remember, the situation was imminent. The president declared it was imminent. The president said it was 100% necessary. Oh, the page did not load completely. Why? What went wrong? Yes, that download is really dragging me, and I'm going to have to, Oh, the page, it ain't the download, it's the page. A sudden, unforeseen happening that requires action to correct and protect lives and property. Emergency. In the law relating to civil defense and civil contingencies, an event or situation which threatens serious damage to human welfare in a place in the United Kingdom, an event or situation. Oh, look at that. Each country has its own definition for emergency. Well, no, yeah, because I'm not in the United Kingdom. I'm not using, I'm using a VPN, but my VPN is not set for the United Kingdom. So let's make sure this dictionary isn't specifically for the United Kingdom. It isn't. So it appears, according to this definition, that different countries have their own legal definition for emergency. Because I use a VPN from time to time, y'all. And because of that, I had to make sure that the definition, when it said UK, United Kingdom, that's what UK stands for, if you guys didn't understand, if you never knew. When it said UK, I needed to make sure that it wasn't given a definition strictly for the UK. So it says in a place in the United Kingdom. Okay, interesting. Are they saying that they first came up with the word in the United Kingdom? Interesting, huh? Oh well. Look. Want to thank TDF for its existence. Tell a friend about us. We don't want to thank TDF and we don't want to tell a friend about you. We just wanted to find out the definition for emergency. You guys gave us a definition. We're not too happy with it, but you gave us a definition. So we ain't gonna tell nobody about you. Don't y'all go telling nobody about them. We ain't doing no free advertising for them people. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, we don't need emergency response. Oh, look, they actually have a law defining what an emergency situation is. Definition of emergency situation for the purpose of authorizing an oral prescription of a controlled substance listed in Schedule 2 of the Federal Controlled Substance Act. The term emergency situation means those situations in which prescribing a practitioner determines the immediate administration of the drug, blah, blah, blah. Unless you have wishes to the contrary prior put on record saying, don't you dare think of me as an emergency. I don't want that stuff in me, you know, that's the type of thing. Okay. Oh, and ladies and gentlemen, I don't need all of you to worry about me health. I'm okay. I'm doing just fine. I just can't do 1,000 things anymore. I cannot do 20 or 40 or 60 things at one time like I used to. I cannot multitask like I used to. I cannot do 5, 10, 15 things at a time anymore. It can't happen. It causes too much damage. Okay? And I can't allow that. So I'm okay. I just needed to correct certain things. Oh, look at that. There's the, why did Congress pass the National Emergencies Act of 1976? What National Emergencies Act of 1976? Y'all need to pay attention. Come on now. Come on now. National Emergency Act of 1976. That's what they're talking about. The Public Law 94-112. We don't need this. This doesn't help us. What helps us is the Senate report and Mr. Traficant's communication, because he was a congressional member and he was reading from this. He understood the situation. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Oh, this is Gladys Knight talking about next time. Next time. What? Next time. Next time. Okay, she's singing next time for the opportunity for us to meet together again. Just wanted to let you guys know exactly what we needed. The information that's being requested. So it's the Senate reports. The law we can get. I don't need a certified copy of the law. You see, these conversations were conversations by Congress during the session. It's these conversations that let us know what their intent was during those sessions. So we need their intent. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for the law. We're looking for how they came to the conclusions and rendering of the words and putting the law together. Well, what Congress told us is, hey, since 1933, we've been in a state of declared national emergency. Banking emergency, a national banking emergency. That means the holiday has still been ongoing. We need those words by them, and the surrounding conversation lets us know that they were referring to the banking holiday or bankruptcy, as Mr. Trafficant said. We go in and we say, hey, wait a minute, Congress was delegating this responsibility. Congress, that makes that whole act, when they did that whole act in those 470 provisions of federal law, unconstitutional, which includes Title 18. That's right, I said it. Do you understand? We bring this up. Now that overturns just about every single case they've been operating in commercial. Every single one that they've been relying on each of those 470 provisions of federal law, which also included state law. Because remember, the federal laws control the state because they threaten the states with federal monies if they don't do what the federal government says. That's what we do, people. This is how we get back at these idiots. And I said get back. The ones who are violating the law, the ones who are trampling over the law, the ones who are going by these unconstitutional provisions. That's why we bring the federal question. Do you guys see the logic behind it? Now, look, I'm going to take 3 minutes, and that's it. We're going to go to 34 minutes, 34 minutes. But this is a letter that I was showing you guys. For SATCOM, I created a newsletter. We haven't put it up yet. The newsletter, we promised it in December. Ladies and gentlemen, been so bombarded, training, helping people, and helping them to understand. Hey, let me let you know. I promise you, we have rooted out the people who really wanted to be here. Out of the 21 people we brought in, we have 6 who are here. And if you guys, I could not tell you how much more proud I am of them. They're communicating with each other. They are literally communicating. And it's not just, they're just communicating a little bit. They are now communicating a lot, having conversations. They're trying to put together stuff for you guys. We couldn't get that from them before because we had some people who were just here just to say they were a part of SATCOM. We don't want that. We had some people who were here who didn't care about you all. I told you I'm not going to allow that at SATCOM. And then we got some intelligent people out there who want to try to cause damage to SATCOM. So I've been having to dispense of my skills to make sure they understood that I'm not going to allow that. So let me tell you what I did, and then we got about a minute. It says, how does the economy work? Okay, so we're doing one of our newsletters explaining about how the economy works. And then we talk about supply and demand. What exactly stimulates the economy? How does supply and demand work? Oftentimes, people don't really give this a lot of thought. When they were in school, they heard of these things, such as, well, they heard of things such as supply and demand, and how the more supply, the less the demand, the less the supply, the greater the demand. They heard statements like that, but never really could comprehend what it means. So in this brief article, I put it in layman's terms as to what supply and demand. And I create the manufacturer, supplier, distributor as entities to put it simplistically so people can understand. But when I'm putting this together, I'm not relying on any articles. I'm relying on my knowledge of business. Okay, and my knowledge of understanding supply and demand. I understand economics. I understand how the system operates. I just understand it. I can't explain it to you because I've never studied it. And I dare anybody to take what I'm writing in a newsletter for SATCOM and to rebut it. I dare you, because you won't be able to, because all of it is based on the facts, especially when it talks about the global economy. Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, have a good life, have a good night, and you know the things we're looking for, so I'm hoping we can get that together. Goodbye.